Welcome. These last couple of days have been very historic for the Roman Catholics because of a new letter by Pope Francis titled Motu Proprio, which states that the Tridentine Latin Mass, the much beloved Latin Mass of very trads, many trads, is going to be restricted. And the details of these restrictions you can check out in the letter itself. The Roman Catholic world is exploding with discussing what should we do with this letter, what is our reaction, blah 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 blah. And I want to answer this question instead. I want to state, how did this even happen? Right? What's the cause of this? And I want to provide some of my observations. I think the first observation is Vatican II. The spirit and applicability of Vatican II is immense. Even if you argue that the Second Vatican Council is not dogmatic, you can cope and sleep well in the night thinking it's not a dogmatic council. Hint, it is. But even if you unironically believe it isn't, well, it seems to be applied in the Roman Catholic Church for quite a long time, really. And the outworking of it is present. And who's really responding to this? I mean, what are the ways that you can respond to this? I mean, idiots like classical atheists think that, oh, we should be pushing for reform of the reform. What even is that? What do you think? How is that going to work? You gotta talk about these. You can't just say let's push for a reform. Tell me, what kind of a reform do you want? What do you even want? Do you want this to be completely annulled? Is that what you want? Well, it's just these vague, lame statements. That's the only response, that's the only rejection that these people have. There's really nothing that's working in a Roman Catholic Church. Second thing, that's an observation. And before I move on to that, I just remembered, I mean, knowing Roman Catholic apologists, they're going to complain, cry like a bunch of women, and in a week, for I think 3-4 weeks, they're just gonna constantly attack Orthodox Christians. They're gonna make stupid arguments like, "Oh, I don't need to be Orthodox because I don't need to be divorced," which is such a stupid. I mean, if you're a Roman Catholic and you make that argument, you're an idiot. I mean, you're straight up just a very stupid person, and you should fix that. And the reason why you're a stupid person is because it's part of your history too. England had canons of divorce. Read the canons of Saint Theodore of Canterbury. The East, which supposedly in your minuscule idiotic brain is supposed to be part of your church in the first millennium, guess what? The East had canons for divorce too that we still have today. So that's why you will suffer hearing these idiotic arguments again. I just know that this is just gonna happen. Okay, so I'm just waiting for it to happen, for more streams. Why I should not be Orthodox? I don't want to be Orthodox because even though I get cucked by Pope Francis, and the only good form of liturgy in my church is the Eastern liturgy, which the Orthodox Church have, I don't want to be Orthodox because I don't like it. I don't like their ecclesiology. That's like the only thing that they can find, right? I don't like the Pope, but the papacy is the best best thing that ever has happened to us. And this gets to my second observation, which I hinted at already. Um, the only good thing you have left now in your church, because in 5-10 years, I mean, this is how you phase out rites. I mean, in 10 years, I don't think Tridentine Latin Mass is going to exist in the Roman Catholic Church. To be honest, it's just not going to exist. It's already minuscule. It was already like 1% of the Roman Catholic Church. It's already a very small aspect of the church, and it's going to be even less now. So what do you have? Well, Michael Brendan says, well, we're going to have Eastern rites. We can just hide in the Eastern rite. Okay, sure. But Eastern rites are ecumenism. I mean, you can't just get in the Eastern rite and then just reject Orthodox. You can't just accept Orthodox worship and then reject Orthodox theology. It just doesn't make any sense, right? For example, the second week of Lent, the second Sunday of Lent, is we're going to be celebrating Saint Gregory Palamas. So what are all of those idiotic Roman Catholics that attack Saint Gregory Palamas, that call them apologists? What are you going to do? I'm just wondering, what are you going to do when you go Eastern Rite? Huh? Are you gonna ask prayers from Saint Gregory Palamas like your liturgy tells you? Of course you're not. But then you're going to say, oh, Eastern Rite liturgy is so beautiful and traditional, even though you spit on our saints and our theology. When you start thinking about this, like, just sit somewhere, calm down, and just think about this for 10 minutes, and you will easily see the inconsistency of this. You can't separate the mystical aspect of the theology, the prayer aspect of the theology, of the worship, from the scholastic aspect, right? The theological aspect of it. You can't separate these two. And I've made this argument numerous times. I mean, it's even worse if you go to the Chaldean church, because you're going to have to call Nestorius a saint. He's considered a Greek doctor in the Chaldean liturgy, among with Theodore of Mopsuestia, who are, both of them are anathematized heretics, but Chaldeans, for them, Nestorius is a cool guy, right? It's just laughable. It's just absolutely laughable. But the third observation, and I think really ultimately this is the reason why a lot of these things are happening. This is why this is happening in the Roman Catholic Church and not in the Orthodox Church. You have very low IQ people like Milo who make arguments like, what was it like? Oh, the fact that we get attacked the most and subverted proves us, which is, very, I mean, have you not seen the communist revolution and the Ottomans? Have you not seen the effect that they had on the Orthodox Church, the Freemasons, so on and so forth? But, let's go aside these superstitious low IQ arguments like, oh, I get attacked more or I get attacked less. Rather, let's see which structure can defend itself from subversion way better. I think that's a much more profitable argument. And the reason why Roman Catholics don't get into these debates is because they just instantly know they're going to lose. Because if you want to subvert a centralized structure, what do? Just subvert the guy in charge and the rest will come down. How do you subvert a decentralized structure like the Orthodox Church? Subvert the guy in charge? Well, good luck subverting Jesus Christ. Okay, let's subvert Patriarch Bartholomew. In what manner and how? Because if he makes himself too obvious, he's going to get kicked out. Whereas if he's Pope, everyone's going to listen to him because he's the Pope. I mean, that's how the Roman Catholic system is. So the Roman Catholic system bases itself on just one guy, whereas the Orthodox Church we base ourselves in the living tradition of the church. This is why even if a jurisdiction is going to have a lot of bad bishops, those bishops are going to have a very hard time introducing liturgical abuses. I mean, even we have metropolitans, like, not many, but I mean, the worst we had is Archbishop Epiphorus and a Chicago metropolitan trying to pushing for open communion for married couples. And to my knowledge, they haven't really succeeded in doing that, but they've entertained that idea. But even things like multiple spoons, right? In the Orthodox Church, which, multiple spoons hasn't even been a debate in the Roman Catholic Church, I'm pretty sure. But these liturgical abuses, even if they happen in a jurisdiction more regularly, you still cannot argue that the Orthodox Church is, as a whole, like, completely gone wrong because of this. A jurisdiction of it has gone wrong on this issue, but rest of the Orthodox Church, the Russian Church, Bulgarian Church, Serbian Church, Jerusalem Church, Antiochian Church, Georgian Church, you still have various different jurisdictions that you're going to try to, quote, corrupt in the Orthodox Church. This is why it is much more difficult to introduce liturgical abuses into the Orthodox Church. The fact that it is much easier to do in the Roman Catholic Church is proof enough that compared to the Roman Catholic Church, our ecclesiological structure is much better. And that actually proves that our ecclesiological structure is superior. Right? So let's not get into these low IQ arguments that are easily refutable, like, oh, the Orthodox can't get things done. Actually, we can get things done. We have councils that we consider dogmatic even after the schism. We have councils that we didn't need the Pope's acceptance, like the local synod of the local synod of Constantinople. This is an example. Local synod of Constantinople 843 is how we accept the Seventh Ecumenical Council. We didn't need the Pope to accept the Seventh Council. In fact, the Pope initially, the West initially rejected the Seventh Council while the East accepted it. How could that even happen? Think for 5 minutes. Use your small little brain, your little pretty smooth brain, and you will find the answer. The Orthodox Church can get things done, and it can defend itself from liturgical abuses compared to the Roman Catholic Church. And this proves that our ecclesiological structure is much superior than the Roman Catholic structure. The only thing you're going to have is you're going to cope, oh, we suffer more things. Oh, so the Ottomans, that's not enough. The communists, that's not enough. The iconoclast controversy, that was not enough. I mean, you could argue, well, we were one church. Sure, we were, but the West was part of the persecutors in the iconoclast controversy in a little way. I mean, sure, you had divine images, you didn't have that issue, but the Carolingian theologians definitely had an issue with icons. So we can bring many examples. Freemasons, right? Freemason subversion in the Orthodox Church, it was condemned in the 1920s. We even had a famous ecumenical patriarch that was a Freemason that we found out later on, who was a total ecumenist. All of these instances, I mean, we can find many instances. Simony, right? Simony during the Ottoman Empire. And sure, like, I don't disagree that you can definitely find issues in the Roman Catholic Church, but the way I see it is that a lot of the issues in the Roman Catholic Church were kind of caused by the structure itself, whereas a lot of the issues in the Orthodox Church were caused by external factors. It's just what I think, but no matter what your opinion on this is, I think the fact, again, I want to reiterate this point, which is very important, the fact that the Orthodox Church can defend itself from liturgical abuses compared to the Roman Catholic Church proves that our ecclesiology is much better. And these are my observations on the issue. So even if you can find the bad quotes from Orthodox archbishops, all you like, but our ecclesiology is completely different. So the argument does not carry the same weight. Thank you for watching this. I will see all of you in the next video. And once again, thanks for watching. Like this video if you like the content, blah, blah, blah. Share this, subscribe, XYZ. And next video, we will see each other once again. Thank you for watching, and may God be with you all. Stay safe.